So my mom married Mark last year, and we moved to a new state. We have a 3-bedroom house. My mom and Mark have one room. Mark's daughter Lily, tween, has her room, and I, young teen female, share with my brothers, teen, 18, and 22. I've shared a room and bunk beds with them since I was 5. I can't go into Lily's room except when I have to clean it because Mark said I had to do chores to live there. Mark doesn't want my mom to work, but he also doesn't give her money for us because that's our dad's job. So I was on my own to get anything I needed. A guy at my school noticed I didn't have lunch most of the time, so he started bringing extra food for me, and then I started going to his house after school. His family's been so nice to me. They took me out with them and got me a pair of shoes because mine were too small. They went all out for me for Christmas. I got 2 pairs of boots and another 2 pairs of shoes, 6 pair of jeans, 4 pairs of leggings, like 20 shirts, 2 jackets, a raincoat, rain boots, an umbrella, a new backpack, and a water bottle, and even some hair stuff and some makeup. They also got me glasses. My mom took everything back for store credit, and she used it to get herself stuff. My friend's dad picked me up the day after to take me to camp. He signed my friend and me up for cooking camp, and I told him what happened. He called CPS, and they came to camp to talk to me. A couple of days later, they came to the house to speak to my mom, and now I'm staying with my friend and his dad. He reordered everything he got me, plus he had me to go into Target and some other stores to get a couple of things until my stuff gets here. But my mom is really mad that I told him she returned everything he got me for store credit for herself, and she's saying that I got her in a lot of trouble. So I wanted to know if I was in the wrong for telling him that she returned everything. Edit, I think my dad is in jail. I haven't seen him or talked to him since I was little. Not the idiot. Let me repeat it. None of this is your fault. Your mother had no right to take your things. They weren't hers. I'm sorry you're in this situation. You don't have great parents. You did not get her in trouble. Her poor decisions got her in trouble. Did she not think your friend's dad wouldn't notice that you were never wearing the stuff you bought? Even if you hadn't told him, he would have asked you about it sooner or later. When I read about Mark not letting your mom work because it's your dad's job to provide for you, it sounded horrible, but maybe there was child support. But if your dad's in jail, everyone knows he can't work or pay child support, then Mark and your mother are even more disgusting because there's no one to support you. They deserve whatever CPS and the law have coming to them. Wow, just wow. This sounds like financial abuse to me. Giving an impossible reason why she can't have money, even outside of the financial abuse, there's no way a teen girl should be sharing a room with 3 older boys while another female child gets a room to herself. Bless that boy from school for befriending you and his family for giving you a safe haven and for raising their son right. And for that, I am so glad to hear that you have these people in your life. Sweetie, as a mom, I want to tell you that 100% you did the right thing by telling your friend's dad what was going on. Let your friend's family help you. They want to help you. Your mom stole from you. She got herself in trouble. Your mom's being selfish by trying to convince you that you were wrong to say anything because you were keeping quiet, which is good for her. You're not wrong. Your mother is lying about you being wrong to manipulate you. Your mom might be mad, but the only person she has a right to be mad at is herself. She allowed herself to get trapped in a marriage with a controlling man who won't allow her to work to support her minor children, and her husband won't support you. A good parent prioritizes her children. Unfortunately, your mother didn't do that. That's why she's in trouble with CPS. All of this is a big deal. None of this is your responsibility. My wife and I have a daughter, 23, called Katie, who has a young toddler son named Jesse. Katie still lives at home with us, which isn't ideal, but we've had to make do with the situation. My wife has basically become a second mother to Jesse, and we've both been helping Katie out as much as possible, as Katie and the father are no longer together. He still does his part, but Katie still lives with us, so Jesse is with us most of the time. I would rather not have Katie still living with us, but she had nowhere else to go, so we couldn't kick her out with a child. My wife doesn't have as much of a problem with her living at home as I do, but the main thing that annoys me is that Katie spends her money on stupid things she doesn't need instead of saving up for her own place. We've given her so much, and she basically just throws it back in our faces. Jesse's starting to walk around furniture and getting more adventurous, so Katie bought corner protectors, cabinet locks to put around the house, and baby gates. She came to me and asked if I could help her put them on stuff and put up the gates, but I told her that I didn't want to start putting all that stuff around my house. She said we need them up to keep Jesse from hurting himself, but I reminded her that Jesse has a whole nursery that he can learn to walk in, so he doesn't need to be walking around the kitchen or living room or any other room, and it's her responsibility to make sure he doesn't injure himself. We got into an argument about it, and I told her she should be saving her money to get her own place where she could do whatever she wanted instead of buying more things to put into my house. She got pretty upset, but I think she got the message because she hasn't discussed putting them up since. My wife asked me why I wouldn't help her out, and I told her that if we start child-proofing our house, it would give Katie the impression that we're willing to accommodate her and Jesse for as long as she wants, and that she can live with us for God knows how long. I just don't want her thinking that she can live with us forever, because as much as I love her and Jesse, the sooner they move out, the better, because it's a lot of extra work for my wife and me. You are the idiot. Is your grandbaby never coming back to your house after she moves out? Be a responsible adult while she does live with you and help protect your grandson instead of being a self-absorbed moron. You're risking the health of a defenseless kid. How you think you're somehow not in the wrong is a mystery. No matter if you feel she shouldn't or should be living there, you're risking that child getting seriously injured. Since you've clearly forgotten how easy it is for toddlers to hurt themselves, I'm going to assume you were as crap a father as you are a grandfather and had very little involvement with your own child when she was that age. Why do you hate your daughter? Why do you want to put your granddaughter at risk? This is a great way to get sued by your daughter if your grandchild gets hurt. I disagree. So your daughter had a child she couldn't afford without bothering to set up a family situation of her own. If the father's doing his part, why doesn't he pay enough child support for your daughter to move out? Your wife is your real problem. She's enabling your daughter's wasteful spending and making more work for you. It's time to sit down and set a time limit for this nonsense to end. You raised your family, and now it's their time to adult. New phones and similar crap are not what responsible parents buy when they can't even pay their own living expenses. Why would your daughter move out when she has mommy spoiling her rotten? As for the so-called child-proofing stuff, why is a 1-year-old freely roaming without supervision? Playpens, gates, closed doors, and an attendant adult are called for, as well as moving anything dangerous up and out of reach. It's false security to rely on devices like that, like they have some magical properties. The sense of entitlement is strong with your daughter, abetted by your wife. You're outnumbered, but you're not wrong. Not the idiot. Daughter-proof your house. My sister and I had our sons around the same time. My nephew will have a birthday, tween, in October, and my son, same age, will then have his birthday next month. I was 20 when I had my son, which is a big deal with my sister. She's 10 years older than I am and had no expectations regarding me as a mom. She predicted I would end up single, my son's dad would bail, and I would give up within the first year. Instead, we were married, and we had 2 little girls after our son. We are very different parents. My sister's very strict and disciplined as a mom and has a lot of rules and swift, harsh punishments for bad behavior or any subpar behavior. My husband and I would fall more into a gentle parenting kind of deal. We teach our kids how to act in public, but we do so in a very different way than my sister and her husband. My nephew can be very challenging, and he's an angry little boy. I suspect it's because his parents are often angry, and he's picking up on that and building resentment, which has made his behavior worse. Our parents have brought this up to my sister in the past, and she's told them that it's not true, and claimed my son behaves far worse despite them saying it's not even close to the truth. Our parents had both boys on Saturday, and my sister and I arrived at the same time to pick them up. Our parents' elderly neighbor approached my sister and told her that she should speak with her son because he's rude and disrespectful to others. My sister told the neighbor that she had the wrong sister and that my son was the kid who got into trouble. The neighbor said she knows the boys apart and who the mom to each is. She told my sister that my son was very sweet and showed no disrespect the way her son did. My sister was furious. The neighbor told her that thanking someone, my son, for picking something up for her does not warrant being yelled at and cursed at by a small child. Apparently, my nephew got an attitude and told her nobody has to help her because she's old and can't do anything for herself. My sister went off on the neighbor, said her son was so much better behaved, and accused her of spreading lies. The neighbor walked away mid-tirade, and my sister started to turn on me. Instead of letting her, I said she needed to stop being bitter and examine her parenting instead of going off on people complaining about her son's behavior. I told her I would not let her take it out on me, that she was wrong about me as a mom, and that I feel like a lot of her anger comes down to that. She hates that I don't get these same comments. She tried to yell at me, but I just got my son from our parents and left. My parents asked me what happened, and I told them. They said I did nothing wrong, but my sister and her husband are both coming for me for what I said, and they told me it wasn't my place to say all that disrespectful stuff. Am I the idiot? Denial is a mighty river. I think your read on the situation is a good one and shows that you know more about effective parenting than your sister. Children's behavior, especially small children, is often a direct reflection of how the parents act around them. Good on you for raising a kind little boy. Keep it up. You are not the idiot. And deep down, sis knows this. Reality is a hard pill to swallow for some people. She sounds like pride is her downfall. She thinks that she's automatically more intelligent and knows better because she's older. Any evidence to the contrary basically pulls the rug out from under her worldview. She doesn't want to feel inadequate to someone she feels like she's supposed to be better than. So she prefers to live in denial and lash out. Yeah, I think she's jealous. Maybe she wanted you to fail so she can feel good about her own choices for some reason. And as that hasn't happened, she's lashing out. Maybe she's in too deep to admit her way of parenting isn't working. Either way, I think you need to keep your son away from her for a bit. The way she keeps trying to use him as a scapegoat is not healthy. Also, your parents need to decide if they want to continue watching your nephew if he behaves so badly. My 20 female aunt, 40s, Kate, is a self-proclaimed cool mom. We're talking like the wet pizza mom, but all the time. It never stops. She's obsessed with looking cool for her daughter's friends, who are older teens but acts pretty inappropriately. Many of Lucy's friends, my cousin, aren't allowed over anymore after Kate sang them that one margarita song. Lucy confided in me that word gets around and people's parents don't want their kids to go to hers. Lucy and her younger brother are pretty jaded as a result and are cold to their mother, who cannot take the hint. She came over on Boxing Day and complained about her kids' social lives. She said they rarely see their friends anymore, and it's worrying her that maybe it's their rude attitudes. My mom gave me a look that said, "Say nothing," but I said, "Do you think it's maybe the fact that you try to embarrass them at every opportunity? They're cold because you've ruined their reputations by being the crazy cool mom." My mom told me to leave the room, and she and Kate went outside a few minutes later. After 20 minutes, they left, and my mom was not happy with me. She told me to text Kate to apologize because she was very upset. Am I the idiot for telling her the truth? Not the idiot. That's not exactly appropriate for a teen, but having a 40-year-old introduce it, sheesh, wow, so unbelievably awkward. I'm secondhand cringing for those kids, and I'm surprised no one told her before. She's upset now, but she needed that. It's so easy also to quietly watch people spiraling down and do nothing about it just to keep the peace. You're a great cousin. Agree. The Margarita song is an insanely inappropriate song to sing to a group of minors. no matter the context. If my child came home and said an adult sang that song to them, they wouldn't be allowed back either. Were you direct? Yes. Was it the truth? Yes. Boy, someone needs to give her a reality check. Dear Lord, I thought they meant that Hey Margarita song, which is obnoxious as heck but innocuous. This woman needs therapy. Mom knows you're right and enables Kate. Ugh. I'm 36, and if my friend's mom sang that, I'd still be embarrassed. Do not apologize. She doesn't deserve one. On the other hand, the poor kids deserve one from her. My husband and I were planning a vacation for us and our 2 kids. We'll be gone for 8 days in the summer. We've saved for this trip for years, and we're super excited. This place is about 3 hours away from my husband's family. They invited us to spend some days with them. However, from the start, I said I wanted alone time with just the 4 of us. With the kids getting older, we don't spend much time with them. We don't have the money to travel often. I suggested 3 to 4 days with his family, then we go to the actual vacation spot. I also set the boundary we'd stay in a hotel. They seemed to agree. Then out of nowhere, my husband's family decided to go to our vacation spot for the whole 8 days. That's when the hints began that we all get a house to rent. I said no. I love my husband's family, but it'd just be too much, and I wanted time just us. We don't need to be around each other 24/7. After that, my sister-in-law started making plans for all 8 days, with us included. I put my foot down to my husband and said no. We could spend 4 days with his family, maybe 5, but I wanted just a few just us days. We never go on vacation, and his family visits once or twice a year, so it's not like we don't see them. My husband says I've hurt his family's feelings. When I spoke to my sister-in-law, she said I should understand why it hurts. I won't spend the entire time with them. I asked how they'd feel if they planned a trip, and we tried to change the plan. She said family does this stuff for each other. I'm already dreading the trip and wonder if I'm being overdramatic and should just give in to avoid drama. Am I the idiot? Edit. We chose this spot because it's somewhere our kids have always wanted to go. Of course, we can't give them everything they want in life, but now we can finally afford it. As I said, we never get to vacation, and I wanted to give this to them. We can't cancel or change dates as we put down non-refundable deposits. Not the idiot. My in-laws did this. It ruined the entire vacation. My condolences. Your husband should watch the old John Candy film, The Great Outdoors, to see just how fast spending a vacation, lodging with family, can go south. She said family does this stuff for each other. Yeah, the Barone family maybe. Not everyday healthy families. Your sister-in-law can be hurt, but that doesn't mean you have to spend 8 days in a house with her. Just because someone experiences an emotion doesn't mean everyone in their lives has to accommodate it. You will be frustrated and sad if you don't get a few days with just your family, but your in-laws don't care about that. Your feelings are not resonating with them, so why should their feelings dictate your vacation? Why does your husband care more about his sister's feelings than yours? Your offer was more than reasonable. Hold your ground and tell your husband to get his head out of his butt. Otherwise, you'll resent every moment they're in your space, hijacking your vacation. They're being manipulative, and you've given more than an inch, and they're taking a mile. If they get their way, you'll be miserable and resentful. Don't let him appease them at the cost of your feelings on this one.